I am planning to make content in the Mediterranean and like, I don't know, adapting it to the Asian culture.
Nice.
And I feel like it's very, I don't know, it's very nice because I feel like I'm the only one that is studying nutrition in Spain as an Indonesian. So it's a very unique perspective to give.
So you want to speak to Indonesians?
Indonesian or Asian in general, but I'm gonna use English to deliver. But obviously, there's gonna be some cultural context about it that.
You know what? That's really interesting because what I travel a lot, like I've been to a lot of places, I backpacked a lot, and I love to eat. I'm very big on food. And I like you eat something in Mexico and Colombia or Peru, and then I also went to Thailand, Vietnam. I stayed in Vietnam for 6 weeks, like 6 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Um, you would notice there are similarities, there are differences, and like it's like a story. Everyone is trying to say it with a different way, but at the end they're trying to balance different elements. But every country, every food has a character, and it speaks of the character of its people, like the culture and all that. And I feel that it's a way of communication, the way you eat.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely very cultural.
So in order to like be able to translate the signs you have to someone from, you need to understand their culture, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because one of the things that really was the big like aha moment was in uni when they would teach me about the Mediterranean diet. I would think, yeah, but this is not applicable at all for people back home. Like I cannot give this advice if I'm practicing back home because no one would eat the way it is, you know? So it's like kind of like when I was looking back to that, I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, you plus like the idea of innovation is putting one thing and another thing and you combine it.
Yeah.
So
I I noticed that because in my previous house, my first house in Barcelona, I was living with a guy from Chile and a girl from Colombia, and it was me. And her boyfriend was usually with us, and he is Catalan. So me and him were used to the Mediterranean diet. Like in Egypt, it's kind of a Mediterranean diet, but it's a bit fatty. Like it has a little bit of African context to it, but it's kind of a Mediterranean diet. And he's from Barcelona, so and I noticed that we like the same food,
okay.
and the way she always cooks is completely different than the way me and him are used to tasting things. And sometimes like is telling her like add vinegar, and they told her, yeah, I think you should do that, and she doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But we are both used to different ways of tasting things. So when you go to, I don't know, like India or Malaysia, and you tell them, no, you need to use olive oil. No, but they use ghee, and they have always been using it in India. In Malaysia, you need things, I think, like a little bit more tangy and spicy, and like, but and there are the element of ingredients. Like, can you get Spanish tomatoes in Malaysia? Like, no. Can you get the same garlic, the same olive oil? Like that's why I don't think we should generalize. Like these countries were doing well, I would say. Like
Yeah.
Peruvians were eating well, Mexicans were eating well, and still their cuisines are better than any. Like they're very good cuisines, the Peruvian, and these people were healthy, and their temperatures, their cultures, and it was doing well. We shouldn't try to force on them a diet that's not relevant.
Yeah.
Like the cuisine in India, and like everything is related to Ayurvedic medicine. They believe this stuff, and it works for them.
Yeah.
So, and when I went to India. I was there like in May, and I noticed I eat a lot of lentils and beans. Usually, this stuff I can't digest when I eat in Egypt, but in some way or another, I was totally okay there because they know how to make it in a healthy way with
Yeah.
Ayurveda, and like it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to like the problem is just like the time. I think it's also the fact that it requires a lot of thinking. And it's like I feel like I have a limit of how much things I can think about in a day. And you're just like, oh, okay. No, I don't feel like thinking about it. Like it's already exhausting. Sometimes like on the weekends, like my body just like, okay, shut down. Like just relax, just don't do anything.
yeah. No, like it's interesting. Like Barcelona is a very active city, and you feel like you're in the middle of everything. And a lot of opportunities keep popping up, and the problem, the question is not what should I do. The question is what I should not do, and
You would
how,
pick it, no? Pick which one you should.
like there's a lot, so you need to learn how to say no. I would
Yeah.
say, like, otherwise you get really swept by, and you have to take it one step at a time. I would say, like, but
Good advice.
yeah, we're here, we're having coffee, and we're chatting, me and Melina. Uh, it's another episode of the Health Innovation Playground. Tamira couldn't make it today, so it will just be me and Melina. Melina is my guest here. She's a nutritionist, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's here in Barcelona. For how many years have you been here?
I've been in Spain for a total of this is my 6th year.
Wow,
Yeah, since 2020.
that's my 6 month.
Ah,
Yeah,
nah, you need a lot of time to catch up to me.
yeah. So tell us, who are you, Melina?
So my name is Melina. I am born and raised in Indonesia. I have lived in many places. I've lived also in Jakarta, in Bali, and then also in Beijing, in China. And now I call Spain home.
Yeah, nice. It's a nice home, right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love living here.
Yeah, and you studied nutrition here in Spain.
Yes, I studied human nutrition and dietetics
Uh-huh.
in Universidad Rovira i Virgili, just south of Barcelona, in a city called Tarragona. So this is where I learn a lot about, well, what I know now. I haven't graduated that long ago, just 1.5 years ago. And now I'm just like dipping my toes in the real world, I would say.
Oh yeah, you did them really deep. No, no, I met Melina. First time it was at the Barcelona Health Hub.
Yeah.
We were like there was an event there. I met her there, and then I met her another time at the conference. It was in, I would say, December. It's
Yeah, it's helped like
Health Tech Forward. It was here in Barcelona, and she was coming with the startup that she works in. They were pitching there. It's called Genio. What do they do?
So we do precision nutrition where we incorporate various tests like genetics, epigenetic tests, and we also do ready meal. So that all of that is in global in like a health platform where you can track everything, and there is also consultation and all these things.
I think I only got ready meals out of this. No, I think that there is a lot to unpack here. Like, I think there are a lot of words, and we need to understand every one of them.
Yeah.
But so it's a startup. has something to do with genetics and nutrition. And you work there as a nutritionist.
Yes.
How long have you been there?
I've been there since early last year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you graduated and you work so quickly.
Yeah. Well, not so quickly.
Like
That
yeah,
easy.
that's impressive. I would say like congratulations to you. And then I'm sure it's a good learning opportunity and a good opportunity for growth. I would say.
Yeah, but pretty much. I would say it is very difficult to get your feet out there. I would say that getting your first job is definitely very difficult. It's very sad, I would say, as someone that is such a crucial part of the health scene, like being a nutritionist, a dietitian, and having so little job opportunities. There's just not that much, I don't know, like preventative kind of perspective in the Spanish healthcare system. So it's very hard to find jobs around here. Yeah.
No, but it's good. It's good. You found one.
Yeah.
No, but also it's good. You find something you like, right?
Yeah. 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 That's very important.
Yeah, I think you're doing what you should be doing right now, like
Thank you.
more or less, right? You're doing something that's good.
It's very innovative, so I like it, especially with the world that we have right now with the introduction of AI. I got a head start, like right into it.
Yeah. So what basically do you do for them?
Yes. So I think there's like certain concepts that I feel like it's good to kind of explain beforehand. So the first thing is about longevity,
Yeah.
because a lot of the work is the end goal of the work is working in the longevity space.
What's longevity?
So longevity is described as many things. My favorite definition is the one from the WHO, which is how many years can someone keep living in good health? So an absence of disease, good cognitive function, good, like basically they're independent. They do not need extra help. But also there is a part of longevity that's all about the biohacking, anti-aging, living for as long as possible, not aging and still looking the same. But yeah, mine is the idea about how much can we live healthily, like on our own, and make sure that we are not suffering in that longer extra years that we're living.
It's like quality over quantity. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's a very interesting topic, longevity. Like I was introduced to this topic like I think earlier this year, like in October or something, and I was thinking a lot about how our lifespans will be different than the lifespans of our previous generations, and like we will have much more tools, things will be a lot easier. But then on another side, like the biohacking and what if they created the drug that would make you still be able to play basketball when you're 92? And like
There's the drug.
there is companies that are working on drugs that slow aging and it stops like all the aging processes. And there's a very big company with billions of investments in the US and a very big team. I don't remember the name, but they have a very big team and the, the, they're standing behind a Nobel Prize winner, Japanese guy, and they're researching into a drug that slows aging, more or less. And they have been doing this for like 2 years, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And they secured a lot of money. They have a lot of financial resources. They haven't produced anything yet. They're saying they're still in research phase. Uh, but yeah, they're working on it.
Could it be like something with NAD, maybe?
They still don't know yet.
I think I've heard about it also that they're just like looking for something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I will get the name of it. But yeah, but so what are your thoughts on longevity? Right now, me and you, what can we do to make sure, or nobody can make sure of anything, but to like try to have better aging, or
Yep.
that the last period of our life feels better.
Yep. For me, well, yeah, there's the difference between what is a lifespan and what is a health span, right? So a lifespan is just how many years you live
Yeah.
in total. Meanwhile, health span is how many of those lives you live with good health.
Yeah.
And also the absence of any diseases, I would say. So I think the engine for longevity is the preventative health, where we make sure that, first of all, I think in university, I was taught like the three levels of prevention: the primary, secondary, tertiary. But also, I think we can add like the first one, which is the primordial, the one before that, when you prevent all the risk factor in general. You see what kind of lifestyle, environmental factors you can change so that you don't start developing this risk factor. Yeah. So the first one is obviously building a lifestyle and an environment that does make your life more healthy, I would say. What do you avoid? Who do you associate with? I would say also it's very important. And yeah, that's like, I think, the first part. And then when you are talking about the primary prevention is when you already know the risk factor, but you are trying your best to make sure that it doesn't develop to something more serious. And I feel like that is where also the testing comes. So if you know the epigenetics and the genetic test, um, it gives you the knowledge of what you can, what do you say, like how you can kind of prevent everything from
Yeah.
happening, because you do know the risk factor early on before it starts to manifest.
So let's summarize this. So you think there is classically there was the primary prevention that, for example, my parent had diabetes, so I would not eat sugary food. I will take care because I might have diabetes. And secondary is when I get the disease, so I prevent complications.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like early stage.
But there, you're saying that there should be a stage before that where I just need to take care of myself.
Yes.
I just need to be healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody taught us like that, and like okay, there is a baseline of things you need to be doing to be healthy.
Yeah.
So what do I need to be doing right now from your perspective or from your expertise to be healthy right now
Yeah.
and age healthy?
Yep. So obviously for me as a nutritionist, the most important thing is the nutrition for me, but it doesn't also reduce the importance of other factors in your life. So, how much stress do you have on your day to day life, how much sleep you're getting, and how much physical activity you're doing on a day to day basis, because it's very important in all of the longevity studies, all these factors that combine together to make your whole lifestyle in general. No? So, I think building muscle is very important because we all know that when we age, we lose muscle, and having these muscles help us with our mobility. It reduces falls, so we don't so yeah, it reduces falls and basically makes us more independent because we can go down the stairs, we can do the squats, we can lift things that are heavy. And also the things that I feel like has been not really looked into, but sleep. For me, sleep is becoming something that I'm really paying attention in, because I've been sleeping terribly all my life.
Yeah.
And right now, since I've been working in the longevity sector, I know that how important sleep is and how much REM sleep and deep sleep that you're getting is very, very crucial for the recovery period. And I'm actively trying to work on improving my sleep. And then, yeah, mental health. I mean, do you have a community? Do you have someone to call at the end of the day if you're having a good day or a bad day? Do you have activities that you look forward to that's not just work? Do you have any hobbies? So, yeah, actually, well, no one knows this, but I know Tamila before I know you because we're in the same fencing club together. So that's how we became very close during the conferences because I immediately was like I knew you. Like I don't know what she do. Like I love talking about being in my like sport community because we just know like each other's first name. I think like I don't know what do they do most of them. So it's such a surprise when suddenly like one of my teammates to show up in my workplace. It's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember this day. Like we all bumped in. Like I was going with Tamina, and we bumped into Melina, and I was surprised that they're the first time they are knowing that they actually work in the or in the same sector, and yeah, that was a funny moment.
Yeah. Yeah. We've never talked about what we did. We just go there and we really, I feel like that's good because
You
that's
to get
doing,
out all the rage
that's
and
doing like all the things at once. Like I'm practicing my cognitive brain, like
yeah.
things. I'm working out on my muscle. I'm de-stressing. I'm making friends. So I
I
feel
want to
like,
do some martial arts or something like that. While I'm at it.
yeah, yeah. I grew up doing martial arts actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where in
In
Indonesia?
Indonesia, I did, and I because of that, I was living in China also because I did Chinese martial arts called wushu, and I did it quite seriously, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's very important to build habits, and as an athlete, you really learn that building this habit and being disciplined, and even though you don't want to go work out, you have to, and being really strict about everything. I feel like that is a very good lesson and foundation on like having to have like the motivation to live every day
Yeah,
because it's not easy living healthy. Like let me tell you, it's easier living unhealthily and not
yeah.
doing your things. You know.
No, I used to do sports when I was a kid, like a lot. I used to play water polo for like 8 years, and you train 5, 6 times a week.
Yeah.
And during the summers, for example, we would have a training at 8 in the morning, from 8 to 11:30. So like 3 hours of training. First we run, and then we swim, and then we do some drills on the water, and then we have another training in the evening at 5. Then the next day and the next day, and just you can't. You're so tired. You're training 4 hours a day, and you just want to do nothing. But then you have to wake up, and when you do that when you're like 13, it just kind of gives you some discipline.
Definitely. And it steers you out of doing bad decisions.
That guys gets you out of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get you. But you said something. You said the longevity sector.
Yep.
What's the longevity sector?
The longevity sector is, well, it's actually a lot of things. So it could be the health clinics, it could be supplement companies trying to sell you specific compounds or things like that. I feel like I can only speak for what I know. And basically, is with the new technologies that we have right now, it's very important, I think, to track everything, I would say. Like now there's a big emphasis of tracking and data. So it's kind of like figuring it out what kind of you do day to day and having the means to look at it. Because I think back in the day, because we don't have the technologies that we do now, it's very hard to determine or to see patterns of very, very big data, I would say.
So let's say, why does data matter? Like simply.
Because let me think about it.
Is it because that if you look at the things I do every day and you recognize a pattern, it's easier to break it, right?
Yeah.
At
I
least.
think it's always like knowledge is power. So the more data we have, the more
And then what can you do with this data?
mhm. So this data can be studied and it can be used to promote the habit change. Because if you know that, okay, this is the specific thing that you're not doing well,
Yeah.
we can double down on that. You know, we can work harder on changing that habit because finally you realize what has been going wrong. I feel like in different sectors would be like, oh, tracking your finance, like where does your money go? It's also the same. Like what part of your health is the one that's missing? Do you need to focus on your nutrition right now? Or maybe you need to focus on your sleep right now before you start with the nutrition because maybe you're sleeping 3 to 4 hours a day and you can't be focusing on what food you're gonna eat if you're not resting well or
So you as a nutritionist,
Mhm.
what kind of technologies today makes you exciting when it comes to dealing with your patients? What technologies you're excited to use?
I feel like first of all, just basically the how do you say it? The interest that people have
Mhm.
in their health. I feel like this is the first time when people are really, really passionate about their health. More people, younger people, they're caring more about what they put in their body, how like the effects of their health is affecting their day-to-day life. So I feel like that is a very positive change. And then obviously having a lot of information. I think people are getting smarter with the information that is being shared out there.
Mhm.
People know better. And it's easier for people to consult kind of what is right and what is wrong. But then that becomes the downside where there's too much information. You don't know to an untrained eye which information is good or bad, you know? So I feel like a lot of people can use, for example, AI in a good way where it teaches them, they ask questions, and the answer are generally more correct than a simple Google search.
Yeah.
Right? But they do not have the skills to see that is this actually correct? Because AI hallucinates a lot. So sometimes what advice they're being given is not exactly what is needed. So that becomes like a solution and a problem itself for us, especially nutritionists, because it's very subjective. Everything is based on opinions, you know. So it's very difficult to navigate this space in
Yeah.
a way right now
Yeah.
with everything. Mhm.
Yeah. And so AI and data is one technology right now that is changing things,
Mhm.
but also the field of genetics.
Yep.
What do you think about that? Genetics and nutrition?
Mhm. So if you do usually the nutrigenetics test, you will know more risk factor, and you will also sometimes
What's a nutrigenetics test?
so you do a saliva test, and it will show the DNA makeup of your genetics, basically,
Uh-huh.
and you can see what kind of food you can tolerate better, what kind of vitamins or minerals that you might have more tendency of having deficiency of. It depends, like based on your genetic makeup. So it's very, very personalized. So, for example, you did the genetic test and you might have a high tendency to not absorb vitamin D very well. So, you know that you need more supplementation of vitamin D, or you need to get out to the sun more, or you need more food that has vitamin D. So, that is kind of what nutrigenetics is doing. I think it's good because for once we are not really guessing. A lot of the nutritionist job is to guess kind of what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And it's also a lot of it is also based on trust.
Yeah.
So
And a lot is
Mhm.
trial and error,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Like same in medicine, like you would always, in some disease, for example, celiac diseases, like, or functional diarrheas and function constipations. You know, you get the patient that has a constipation and they're always constipated, and you don't know, like, are they eating something wrong? Or do they have celiac disease? Do they have lactose intolerance? And they keep, you just don't know what are they doing wrong. And because there are no patterns anymore, it seems like every patient gets annoyed by something in particular. Like there are people who can't tolerate like chickpeas and onions, and people who can't tolerate yogurt but can tolerate milk, and people like it's been so distinct between one person and another. So that's why I would say things like precision medicine or personalized medicine is much more relevant nowadays. Like I study your own genetics and I understand from it what works for you, not what works for the masses,
Yep.
and design a therapy tailored to you.
Mhm.
I think this is precision medicine.
Yep.
And studying the epigenetics
Mhm.
is one part of it. But let's make it simple. What are epigenetics?
Okay. So when we talk about, first of all, when we talk about genetics, is the DNA makeup. So you cannot change anything about your genetics. It is what it is. But epigenetics is the part where you're, how you call it, like it is epigenetic is the way your body controls the genes, like turning some of the genes on and off, and that can be modified.
So, like I would say, the genetics are the hardware, and the epigenetics is like the software that you can keep updating. Or
Yes.
so, how can you change your modify your epigenetics?
So it is affected by your lifestyle. So how much inflammation your body is exposed to, how much sleep, the stress, what food you eat, where you live. Also, it's very important pollution levels. You eat out of a plastic Tupperware or a glass.
Everything is connected.
Everything. At the end of the day, it's really hard to just pinpoint one thing that's going wrong. I feel like when you already reach a certain point, it's like, okay, multiple things, but I don't know. We cannot really also stress about it too much. Like at the end of the day, we try the best that we can, and and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. No, and then like you, what's really interesting for me, like the new things you start seeing now, like different mushrooms you can eat, like mushrooms you can find in the market, and
Mhm.
how fungi could have like secrets in eating them, and
Mhm.
things like medicine, like powders that's made out of fungi that you can put in your coffee, and like lines, stuff like that.
Mhm.
What do you think about that as a nutritionist?
Um, I feel like you don't have to spend too much money, like getting the special powders and getting all the specific things when we can see first, like, okay, is there things that are more direct with like food that you can try to change? You know that if you give your mushrooms a bit of sunbathing before you cook them, they absorb more vitamin D.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe try putting your mushroom under the sun for a while and then cook them. But yeah, I feel like there's lots of vitamins and powders and all these things that is coming up in the market, and it's hard also to keep up with all the trends and which one to recommend also.
Yeah, and it's hard to eat well.
It is, it is.
No, like living alone and you cooking 2 3 times a day. No, that's hard. Like
Yeah.
and I'm always trying to buy better ingredients and go to the better soup. But then sometimes you just don't have time, man.
Yeah.
You're running. And,
Yeah.
no,
I feel like my job specifically as a nutritionist is not to make you feel bad that you are short on time. You feel like, it's very normal, especially also I'm a woman. Like maybe this week I don't feel like cooking, I'm low on energy, I'm on my period. So it is you have to learn how to be very forgiving and also work with that problems, because it's life. If it goes perfectly, then we won't have these problems. It's just like, how do you keep maintaining all these habits when you're just as busy, when you are not feeling well? This is the important thing. So I feel like, how do you go to the grocery store and still pick the best food even though you're short on time? I'm okay with having like frozen meal, pre-cooked meal. Try to find just the healthiest options with the time and the resources you have. It doesn't have to be perfect, I would say. Like 80% of the time, it's just like do the best that you can.
yeah.
And the important thing is,
You work a lot with behaviors and like working on the person's behavior, right?
yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, it's kind of like making the compromises, like, okay, what can you work on this week? What can you say yes to? What can you say no to? And slowly.
Like listening to yourself,
Yeah.
listening to your body, right?
Because at the end of the day, it's not a diet where it's like a regime. No, it's
It's
your
the way you
whole
live,
life.
man. It's the way you live. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not gonna give you like a 2 month program where at the 2 months you're gonna miraculously lose all the weight and that's it and keep it forever, like stay in that weight forever. No, like the moment you stop this like regime, like you're gonna gain it all back. You're gonna go back to your old habits. So it's impossible to kind of aim for perfection. And I cannot, like, it's just how you have to live your life forever, and it sucks, but it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be bad. It's super good for you.
Yeah, that's the role of healers in society in general. It's like whether like a nutritionist, a doctor, like whatever. You're trying to work with the person you're working with on finding the best way they could manage this. You're not there to teach them. You're not. You're just there to guide them to do it better. But if they can't, it's not the end of the like. uh, we know it's hard, like
Yeah.
we know that there's something that's impeding you from eating better. Whatever videos you watch, whatever recipes we give you, you can't do it. And that's where you need to really help, and you need really to be patient
Yeah.
because it, it's very complicated as well, right?
Yeah.
Our talk went on for so long, so I decided to divide our chat with Menina into two episodes. So I will cut it short here to save you some time, and I hope you come back to listen to the second part of the episode, maybe next week.